Good morning, Zoom and Facebook. My name is Willie Anderson, and I'm from the Bridge campus. I want to say welcome to Faith Chapel students. We are so excited to have you here today. Zoom, please stay on the end for small groups. Please chat in the chat and let us know where you're from. Before we go any further, let us pray. Lord, I want to thank you for all the things you have done in our lives and everybody's lives. And I pray that this Zoom call awake a lot of folks from what they have not been seeing.
Hey, so young people, we've been on this journey. I'm so excited. We've been talking about no regrets. It's been a great series. Week one, we're talking about behind bars part one, and then week two, we're talking about behind bars part two, and then this week we're talking about red flags. Oof, them red flags, right? Pulling out them flags. I should have had a red flag. Just kind of, you know. Throw it on it. Sometimes you got to throw a red flag on in front of the person, because you ain't nothing but a red flag. But anyways, we got some amazing young people who been at Faith Chapel for a long time. My man Chris Tanner and my young lady Karima Moore. Hey, can y'all just kind of say, hey, in the chat, just type in the chat. What's up, Chris? What's up, Karima? What's up? Chris, Karima, y'all want to introduce yourselves to the students? Say something to them, man.
I'm Karima, and I'll go first. I'm Karima. I used to hate when people say this, but I have been exactly where you're sitting. I grew up in teen church, so I'm glad y'all are having fun and learning something. So, Chris.
I'm Chris Tanner. Y'all already know me, but I didn't really grow up in teen church, which was interesting. Like, I went to kids church, then I went to the Dome, and then came back. So that's kind of a cool little transition from that, and then coming back into the choir and stuff like that. That's how I got back into teen church, and that was really fun.
Nice. Yeah, thank y'all so very much for being a part. So we're gonna jump right on into it, right? So let me ask you guys this a question, and young people, I want y'all to type in the chat as well. Have you ever jumped into a relationship that ended badly? Have you just jumped into a relationship and it ended? Type in the chat. You type in the chat. Karima and Chris.
Oh my God. Oh, the nights, the days. Oh man, it's over.
That's good.
It's just right. It's just like, why? Why did I do this? That's all, you know what I'm saying? But one thing that I found out that is a big telltale is just like making sure that y'all are on the same page at the beginning. That's a good one. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure that like it's like, okay, what are you looking for? You know what I'm saying? Making sure that y'all are communicating. That's basically just like the big key is just communication, making sure everybody is on the same page. You know what I'm saying? If it's gonna be something or if it's not gonna be anything at all. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So, Kareem, do you have anything you want to kind of jump in?
I mean, it's just knowing that we're not just talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. We're talking about, your friends that you see every day at school.
That's so good.
It's just about growth and knowing who to keep taking with you on your journey, because like the moment you realize somebody is not worth your journey, if you go ahead and let them go, then you're good, and the red flag will tell you all.
That's so good. So as a middle schooler, I may have these group of friends as what I'm calling friends, or my buddies, or whatever I'm calling them in middle school, but they may not be able to go with me in high school. That's what I'm hearing you kind of say, right? Is that what you're saying? Gotcha. So why you say that? Why do you say that? Right?
Right now, in this period of life, even for me, I'm 20, you're growing each and every day. You view things differently every day, right? So you're tagging along with these people, and one day they may not view something the way you view it, and that's okay. But it's important to know when y'all aren't on the same page anymore and they gotta go, and that's for your peace. So when you can learn that it's okay to let people go, and they may be mad, they may be butthurt, but you really just got to do what's for you. I know in middle school that's hard because you want to fit in with everybody, you want to be friends with everybody, but you really have to know when it's time to clear people out of your circle. And sometimes that means walking alone. I know y'all don't want to hear that because it's like alone. But sometimes the people around you just aren't it. They fast or they slow or they're just not on the level that you're on at that time. So, you need to take a break from people. And it's important to know when and when not to take that action.
And
so,
like a good, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to ask them to type in. So type in the chat. Have you ever had to cut out, had to identify some friends that couldn't go with you to the next place or the next level? Just type in the chat. Okay, Chris, go ahead. What you about to say?
What I was going to say was that one, I guess, tell sign that this person or this group of friends weren't for you is that once you cut them off, you feel a relief. If you feel like a peace, like it's like a whole weight that's been lifted off of you, then that was a good decision. That was a good decision.
That's sure. So good. That's so good. And it may not be an easy decision. It may be a hard decision, but that weight is gone. You be like, woof.
Right. For real.
That is so good. That's so good. So all right. So let's kind of dive into, because we're talking about these red flags, right? So have you all ever seen in middle school, whether you were in when you were in middle school, because you were in middle school at one point, high school at one point, or even now, because here's the deal. At some point, everybody gonna kind of get into this place of they gonna be dating. I mean, it's just the reality of it at some point. So whether you can do it in middle school, some parents let their kids do it in middle school, some parents don't. Some parents let them do it in high school, some parents don't. And then when you get grown, we want to help them whatever journey they're on to make sure that they can identify some red flags, right? So, but let's start with this kind of the serial dating. Did y'all ever experience people kind of going on these serial datings? Like they date?
Yeah. Like I experienced, first of all, I didn't know that was a thing. Like I didn't even know that was a term, really. But for sure, I have had a whole bunch of friends. Well, not a whole bunch, but maybe like a couple of friends where they couldn't stay by themselves. Like they always had to have somebody. You know what I'm saying? They always needed somebody. Just, I don't know if it was like to fill a hole or something like that, like a void or something, or if like they just really, I guess, loved a lot and they wanted to share it or something. I don't know. But it was just like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, like you don't need a break. You don't need some time for yourself or something. I don't know.
So let me define the term, because you said something which made me think I need to define this term. Serial dating is when you date multiple people within a year span because you don't want to be by yourself.
Okay.
You can't go a week or a few weeks without being just by yourself. So you kind of hit it on the Chris. So yeah, you want to add something to that?
Just that all the people that I know that are serial daters, all of them are unhappy. Like, they can put on a front, but the real problem is that they don't know how to be alone within themselves, which is something that only themselves can fix, right? So if they never take that time to learn themselves to be alone and be fine with being alone, then the cycle's going to continue. So none of them are happy. So you see those people and you're like, I want a man because she get about 5 a week. Like, no, you don't. I promise.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that's so good because it goes into this next, both of y'all hit on it, which was so dope. This person, they just date to fill a void, what you all said, but then you all also said that they can't find any self-worth
Yeah,
within themselves.
Come on. That's good.
And
that's right.
so now you're trying to find somebody else to tell you how worthy you are. That's a red flag.
Mm.
If
You know
you
what?
dated somebody or they've been dating a whole, just randomly dating, they're looking for self. That's
Yeah.
a red flag.
Yeah.
And it's work.
Yeah.
Work. So young people, just type in the chat. Have you noticed people in your school or somebody in your that you know that kind of just be you're dating all these different people? Then one day they dating one person, next day they dating somebody else. One day, have you just type in chat. Just type in chat. All right. So that's good. That's good. So what about? Is it a red flag? Is a red flag a person who is a terrible communicator, or is communication or the lack of, is that a red flag?
That's a complete red flag. Complete red flag.
That's the
Like,
red flag. Like,
for real.
Chris, you want to start? I'll let you start.
Yeah. First of all, if you aren't talking and stuff like that, then obviously you don't know the person. You got to talk to know the person. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to any type of relationship, whether it's like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing, even if it's like a friendship thing, or even just family. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk, you got to communicate so that, you can understand what this person is like, what type of things they need, when you're trying to love on them and show them kindness and all of that, So if you're not communicating with me, if you're not talking to me, then how am I supposed to be that person for you? You know what I'm saying? Whatever role you have for me, how am I supposed to be that person? You see what I'm saying?
That's so good. You want to add something, Kareem? That's so good.
So communication is the biggest key because none of us are mind readers. We don't know. We can assume all day, but that'll probably just lead to more problems. So when we talk about communication, we talk about both ends. So there's red flags within red flags. So if you're communicating how you feel and somebody just kind of brushing you off like you don't have the right to feel that way, they got to go because you feel that way, whether it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Justified or not, right? You feel that way. They might have not meant to make you feel that way, but you feel that way. So when you communicate, I feel some type of way about this, and they're like, I don't know why. That's a problem. I always feel like you should come to the terms. If you can't agree on something, agree to disagree. But it should never be an argument about your feelings. So communication, it will really just fix a lot of stuff, and it will tell you how a person is. Because if you communicate something and they can't communicate or they don't appreciate your communication, then that's not it. That's telling you everything you need to know.
I think that's so good. And to you all's point, I think that's because some people, to you all's point, because I think that was great. I'm going to stay right there and then I'm going to go to something else. But when you all said that communication is like blood to the body. If the communication ceases, the blood ceases, the body ceases. And so if communication ceases in a relationship, the relationship ceases. So that was a great point that you all made. And then, so talk about this because this is one of the key things as it relates to the terrible communicator, because that's a red flag. The terrible communicator, they hold in all their emotions, and then it's almost like they come out, a flood of them come out at one time, and you be like, where'd that come from? Young people, have y'all ever experienced that with anybody? Your mom, your dad? Don't type in the chat, but have you ever experienced that with anybody? So what y'all think about that? They hold it all in, but then they just kind of all rush out at one time. What are your thoughts?
You want to hit or you want to hit?
You can start.
All right. So basically, this probably happened to like our whole friend group. Maybe like beginning of 2020. And we were talking about, transparency, be honest and stuff like that. And it's two different things. It's two different things. Honesty is like I ask you what's going on, you tell me, and you tell me the truth. But then transparency is you tell me without having me to ask. You know what I'm saying? You're just open with that. But basically, one thing that kept coming up was that like one person might hold something in. One person might get offended. You know what I'm saying? Like it might have been me, and then I was like, and then I just like don't say anything, and then act all passive aggressive, unnecessary, and then then
So wait a minute, everybody don't know what passive aggressive is. What you mean by passive aggressive?
Passive aggressive is like just being rude but not saying why you mad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, good, good.
Like think about if you slamming pots while you cleaning or something
while
like that.
While you washing dishes.
Like what are you doing? But like
you're trying to let people them know I'm mad at you, but I ain't gonna tell you what it is.
Right, exactly. You're gonna hear these dishes, But basically that's something that I used to do. And the issue with that is like you don't want to have somebody that's mad and then you holding it in. Like I'm over exaggerating, but like for like 6 years being like, yo, you shouldn't have took my fry. Like, what happened? Like
I was hungry.
Like that. It's really not that deep, but then you make it deep by holding it in,
That's good. That's real good. So young people, have you ever done that? Slam your door and your bedroom, or you slam the car door and you were like, oh, I ain't mean it. I wasn't trying to slam it.
Right. You were trying to do it.
Come on now. Come on. So, yeah. So you want to add something to that, Kareem?
Yeah, so most of the time when somebody blows up like that, a lot of it is anger, and a lot of it is gonna make them the victim. Whether they're the victim or not, a lot of it is gonna like make everything your fault. So the biggest thing for y'all right now, middle school, high school, some college, is growth, right? We're all growing. Even your parents are still growing, they're still learning.
That's so good.
The biggest thing is people grow at different times, right? So just because I don't know how to communicate doesn't mean I don't want to learn. However, somebody cannot want to learn. They're okay with being a bad communicator. So you have to know the difference between somebody wanting to be a good communicator, they just don't know how to, or somebody like, well, this is me, this is how I am, well. And with those people, you're like, okay, if that is you, I don't like that. So I'm gonna leave you right here. Sorry, it hurts both of us. Mm-hmm. But because what you can't do is, if the current relationships you're in, no matter what they are, if they stress you out, minus your parents and your family, I'm sorry, but if the other relationships stress you out, they gotta go. If you're always worried about something, worried about what they think, worried about what they're going to do, what they're going to say, how they might feel about something, then they're probably not the one for you.
Red flag drop. Both of y'all done dropped the red flag. I wish I had a red flag. I'm trying to tell you, if I had I think
we got a
red flag.
There you go.
Got a red straw. Drop the straw. Drop the straw. But I think that is so good, because sometimes there are people who just don't know how to communicate and they're willing to learn. And so that's not necessarily a red flag, but if somebody say I'm willing to learn, but they're not putting any work into learning, that's a red flag.
Talk about it.
And so, and these are things, and I like what they're talking. They're talking to middle school. They're talking to you, middle schoolers. You may not be dealing with it right now. Some of you may be dealing with it right now. High schoolers are talking to you. You may be dealing with it. You may not be dealing with it. If you're a young adult in college, in the workforce, they may be talking to you. They may not be talking. But here's the deal. the point is you need to listen, because at some point you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, whether that's your employer, whether that's your parents, whether that's your teacher. Because sometimes your teacher, not talking about your teacher, you may have to drop the flag on them, so, but we're not going to be
I'm gonna have to cut you out, Miss Thomas. It's all right. I'm gonna have to cut you out.
We're not going to be disrespectful, you may have to have a little straw in your hand, just wave the red straw. Teacher, like, what you doing? Oh, I'm just waving the straw, like reminding myself you a flag. But so, yeah, I think that's so good. So if somebody is, if they're considering dating, right? They're considering dating. I like this in James chapter 4, verse 14. It talks about what is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. And I like that verse because what it does is it points you to the future. So if you're going to date, you don't need to be dating in mind for the right now. If you're going to be in certain relationships, you can't be thinking about just the right now in this moment. You got to think, what decisions I make today, every decision I make today counts for something. And so we got to think that our lives are not just for right now, because how we live today can affect or change your future. So what do you think about that? What do y'all think about?
So when you go around dating Billy Bob and Joe and David, you're giving them a little piece of yourself every time. We're not even talking about sex right now. I'll get in y'all business later. Amen. But you're giving them a piece of yourself. And by that, I mean, you're giving them your all. You're in this relationship because it's cute and I'm bored and I need somebody to talk to. So now y'all on FaceTime every night falling asleep. Yeah, I'm in y'all business. Right? So when you falling asleep on the phone every night, and then next thing you know, your friend texts you and she like, hey, David is talking to Sheila. And you're like, excuse me? And then she sends you text messages and then he's like, So now you're heartbroken, right? Because you've given him a piece of yourself. Now you're lonely at night and you're crying yourself to sleep because he's not there anymore. And that kind of stuff that damages you, whether you realize it or not. It's gonna take a toll on you down the line. So when you get to your 20s, you're like, I'm done with men. I don't want nothing to do with them. They the devil. It's the spawn of Satan. I don't want one. Right? So if you're not dating for the right purpose, why are you dating? I'm in your business. Your turn.
Your house right now. No, she pretty much got it. All I can say is that watch who you date, because the more time that you spend around somebody can really change who you are as a person.
That is so good.
It really can, because you could be like the nicest person,
that's
and then
so
all
good.
of a sudden you catch an attitude with every single person, and it's like, who are you?
Yeah,
that's so good.
That's all I got to say.
That's so good. Because we're talking about red flags because the bad habits you have, because we're not just talking about them, because you can have some bad habits that can affect them too. So the bad habits you have or the bad habits that they have is creating a pattern for your future. And you don't even realize it, that you're, as Karima was saying, you're picking up things, and they're picking up things from you that's planting seeds that will eventually show up down the road. And what Chris said, if you are going to date, because some people just say, I'm just like dating to meet the person. Yeah, I'm just talking. Yeah, I'm just talking. But see, if I'm talking, but we're talking like a up under the covers trying to hide the phone, you know, the big light that's shining, you turn it on dark screen so it won't shine that bright. If you're doing all that kind of stuff, it's a little bit more than talking, right? If your parents don't know who you talking to.
Right, exactly.
It's a little bit more. So all of that, listen, if you're doing all of that, you are sneaking, which is building bad habits for your future. So you cannot think that what I'm doing now will not impact me down the road. As a middle schooler, you have to think about it that way. As a high schooler, you got to think. Those of you in high school, think about what you did in middle school, and it's kind of showing up now in high school. Those of you that are out of school, think about what you did back then, and it's kind of subtly showing up now. That's what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about. Let's think about Jenga. Have y'all both played Jenga before? Yeah. The Jenga box. All right. So when you play in a Jenga box or blocks, when you play in that game, what is the, if we were to connect it to red flags, if we were to connect it to friendships, dating relationships, and we were just connected to that, how would you describe that using the Jenga blocks?
I guess a summary of it when it comes to building, having a relationship that is a red flag is like, it's like taking or like building a relationship on a unstable foundation. That's basically
that's good.
That's basically what it is. Like, if we're being short and sweet with it.
So red flags, you're taking out one negative block, or you're just taking out one block and you just putting on top, but you breaking down the foundation, and you still putting blocks on top of a foundation that's starting to crumble. Yeah. And you're still trying to hold on to what I'm hearing you say, Chris. You're still trying to hold on to something that's about to crumble, but you're still trying to hold on. But this thing is leaning.
Maybe you could also, piggybacking on what you said, like it's so basically it's like you're taking out a block. Say that's like something that's negative, right? And you all in love, all infatuated with the person. You put it at top so you don't even got to worry about it no more, right?
Make it a priority.
Exactly. You just put it at the top. It's just like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to worry about it. They still got all this other stuff. And then you see another issue. It's like, oh, let me get that out. Put that at the top. And then it's like, oh, I can't hold this anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's too much.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris.
And then you just fall.
Jesus. Oh, wow. Young people, you got to hear what they're saying. And so some of you are not dealing with this at all, which is good. But you want to hear, sometimes God brings the word because some people are in it right now and they need to have a awakening so that they can get out. Sometimes he brings it ahead of time before you get in it, so that you won't have to experience like that, right? So listen to them, young people. Listen to them. This is so good, so good. Did you want to say something, Karima, before we kind of round this out? This was great.
Okay. Yeah. Just a quick thing. It's for everybody, but definitely for those who haven't experienced anything yet. Start confessing to yourself how valuable you are.
That's so good.
How worthy you are. How beautiful you are. Start getting to know your self-worth. Get to know yourself, because a problem with a lot of people dating is they're looking for that in other people. They're looking for somebody to validate them before they validate themselves, before they let God validate them. So when you do that, you rely on this person. So when they either do you dirty or leave you or whatever, heartbroken. depressed, anxious, it's over. You feel like you've hit rock bottom because you don't know who you are.
That's so good.
So I need for everybody, I don't care how old you are today, to start knowing your self-worth, because you're here for a reason. You weren't here just to be here. You're here for a reason, and you should not allow anybody to take that sparkle, that shine, that gift away just because you didn't realize how important it was before. So start getting to know that now.
Right.
Even if you are in a relationship. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to know myself before I go in there further with you. Because I ain't got time. But no, seriously, like, all jokes aside, because that will save you so much heartbreak.
Yeah.
I'm not saying if somebody break up with you, it won't hurt, but you will know yourself enough to pick yourself up and be like, okay, but I'm still the baddest thing out here, and that's all, period, you know?
Type in the chat. Yeah, type in the chat, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
That's what you need. That's what you need right there. Type
with
that
a
in the
period.
Chat. With an exclamation point right there.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's so good. Hey guys, give it up for Karima and Chris. Say thank you so very much for dropping those jewels. That was excellent. That was great. Thank y'all. Hey.
That was an amazing message, man. If you would like to give your life to God, please repeat after me. Dear God, I believe that you love me. I believe that you sent Jesus, your son, into the earth. I believe Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and you raised him from the grave. Jesus, come into my heart, and I confess you as Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for saving me. We are so excited about the decision you made to give your life to God. Those of who receive Jesus or rededicated, please text the name Faith Chapel to 94000. I have a few announcements for you. Please download the Faith Chapel app to stay connected with all that is going through in Faith Chapel. We will have Thursday night groups. Middle schools begin 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time, and high school groups begin 7:30 Central Time and 8:30 Eastern Time. Facebook, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.